Greetings and salutations, or jambo, as we say here in Kenya. This is Dr. Karen Nelson, Mission Habitat Director for Mission Mwezi 1 from Northern Kenya, Marsabit County. We are the African destination lunar analog habitat in the world's biggest analog. We're proud to be the only African analog in the 16 cell research program. For those of you who are new to this project, the world's biggest analog is a history making research program being developed by the analog astronaut community. This community was brought into formal establishment over the last 5 years since the COVID era. Our first meeting was online virtual in 2021. And since then, every May, we've been meeting at Biosphere in University of Arizona from people from across the world who believe in citizen science, who believe that citizens also have a stake and a say in how humanity prepares to be a spacefaring civilization. This experiment, the World's Biggest Analog, and you can Google the site World's Biggest Analog and you'll find more information, has 16 habitats participating. 5 of the habitats are lunar analogs, such as Mwezi 1. The lunar analogs also I believe, in Australia, if I'm correct, and I believe there's one in Jordan, and there's also one in Europe, and one in the United States of America. And the other remaining analogs, except for one, are Mars habitat analogs, and one of the habitats participating is in transit habitat. We here in Kenya are doing something that's never been done before. Using frugal engineering and frugal innovation principles, we have designed and constructed a habitat or a base camp which consists of 2 facilities. One facility which serves as an analog habitat for the astronauts who are doing the isolation studies, and one construction where I am, is a hexayurt, 7-cell hexayurt, which serves as mission control. The analog astronauts are number 8. Our mission commander is from Uganda, and the other 7 analog astronauts are from Kenya. They are members of the Kenya Boy Scouts, and all the analog astronauts are under the age of 25. This makes it another first. So, another first I'd like to alert you to is the fact that this is the first time, or this first known time, we have of analog astronauts constructing and living in their own habitat. And I just want to say kudos to the Kenya Boy Scouts, Machakos Rovers, Gala crew that really went all out to make sure that they were able to participate and represent not just Kenya, but all Africa in this historic mission. For the last 6 days, we are on day 7. We entered the habitat on October the 13th at around 11 p.m. We went in late because we had some critical repair issues to take care of. And once they went in, they continued to do some repair issues on the facility. And every day, there is something to be repaired, which actually makes it a very good analog in terms of a phase-based landing. We're calling our mission a moon-based landing. So we are doing the experiments which are part of the larger WBA process. We're also doing studies that have to do with the construction we use for the habitat and the MCC. We're doing a study on the solar energy system, which is powering our facility. We have 2 different systems, 2 different battery systems, in order to build in redundancy. And each 7-cell habitat has its own solar system. And then we're also doing studies on climate. Let me just give a sense of the climate of this area. So northern Kenya, Marsabit is on the edge of where the Chabi Desert is in Marsabit, and where we are in Northor is on the edge of the Chabi Desert. Today we have a high wind day. I'm hearing wind whirling outside. It's 24 kilometers per hour wind. And sometimes it gets so windy you can see dust devils swirling your way. Everything gets dusty. The dust is relentless. You have to do a constant sweep of our facilities, constant sweep of the solar panels to ensure we have optimum efficiency. So far, the solar panels are operating efficiently and without challenge. We have used the time in the last week to improve on the design, and Where before, for example, we had just assumed we do handheld EVAs where we just put things up in the sun to be charged. On one instant, we've actually installed one of the lamps on the roof, and so the solar panel on our ceiling is connected through a gap in one of our beams in the roof. We've had another challenge since we've been out here. One was water. We didn't run out totally, but we were going to run out of water, owing to the fact there were many more people on site than we had anticipated. And also, although we bought 10,000 liters of water, we were sharing tanks with the school. We were embedded on our school grounds, an elementary school ground, and they're right beside an encampment of community members, the Gabriel people, who have become more sedentary owing to the cause of a flood which happened in 2024, which killed off much of their cattle. So they are now moving to settle, and they're settling beside the school. They have food insecurity issues, they have water insecurity issues, and so we felt it prudent to be a good community partner and make sure when we buy water for ourselves, we buy water for them also. So basically, we couldn't have access to 5,000 liters of our water because we gave it away. And so we had to order a second 10,000 liter. And this 10,000 liter Bowser is supplied by people who are affiliated with the government of the county of Marsabit. And we're using water which is reverse osmosis. That's not to say it's reverse osmosis, clean water like what you see in the bottles. It's not. It has still a lot of dust particles. And so in addition to the water we put in the tank for washing, for cooking, for cleaning, we also provide bottled water. And so crisis has been averted. All water supplies have been reinforced and reinstitutionalized. And so all systems are go. So the power systems are go. The purple air system, it's working according to plan. We are doing a study to compare what they're seeing on the device versus what the company is telling us and what people in the county officialdom are saying about the weather. But one of the things I must flag that we thought there'd be no rain in this time, and we were hoping for. There has been some rain, and so we know very soon we have to pay attention to ensuring that between now and the end of the week there's no rain. We have begun to prepare polyethylene coverings so that if there's any hint of a heavy rain shower, we'll be able to be prepared to deal with that. But the showers have been light and scattered, and it's normally once a day. And so we've been able to manage that process without actually having to re-roof or reline the roof with this polyethylene plastic. With regards to food, we also had to replenish for the same reason. We had more than 30 people in camp at one point, and we had planned for a total of 20 people. Today, we actually have 25 people, so we do have a little bit more than we had planned for. But I do think that this number, 25, is an optimal number. I think it's good. Our instinct, if you will, to ensure that each analog astronaut in a habitat has a virtual twin in a mission control person. And so this process, the way we've designed this study, has not only allowed us to say, provide training for the astronauts who are in the habitat. We're also providing training for those young people who are in mission control. So I think that's all. We did have one challenge with one of the experiments. Luckily, it's now here. We had signed up to do an experiment, which was to build a space cabinet. We had challenges with that. I am happy to say that the space cabinet has finally been cleared from customs. We're able to put it on a bus to bring it to Marsabit. I might add that Marsabit is 9 hours on a almost 10 hours on public transportation from Nairobi, Kenya. And so you're heading north towards the border of Ethiopia. The border of Ethiopia is 90 minutes away, a drive 90 minutes away, a town called Moyale. And so we're able to have the space seed experiment, and we're hoping to begin that experiment in due course. So we've had one or two flight health challenges. We're delighted to announce that our relationship with Penda Health, who has signed on as a partner and in-kind sponsor, Pender Health is supporting the monitoring of the astronauts as their contribution to the success of this mission. And so they're monitoring both the astronauts and the mission control crew. And we can only say a big shout out to Pender Health, which is pioneering telehealth in Kenya. Another partner which you have to give a shout out is Lee Corp from Jamaica. They supported the astronaut crew and the systems engineers who are part of the mission control community in building out the solar power system, which is powering this computer, which has been powering us for the last 7 days. And I have to say, with great pride, that we have not had any challenges. The system has worked perfectly. We're certainly under the current capacity. Our load is within parameters, way below the parameters of boundaries of excess. And I feel very comfortable with saying we can now say, check mark, we have succeeded in developing and delivering, execute an off-grid solar system that can house 25 people. Next, we've had challenges. One of the things we had tried to do in the early days of the plan was to try to identify solar cookers because we really wanted to go off-grid in a total way, and we also wanted to be as green as possible. However, the company we tried to work with was not able to supply us with a solar cooker that was functional. We did a test in July. The company was unwilling to fix the problem, and so we have not acquired solar cookers, but I must say that one of the teachers at the school where we're embedded actually has designed a prototype of a solar cooker. And so we're hoping to partner with the school now. It's an elementary school, but we have a brilliant teacher here who's always trying to build things. And so we really feel quite excited about the possibility of the next generation of analog missions in this area, where we could fulfill our promise of not just solving for space, but also solving for the SDGs, as in space for the SDGs. I think I've covered all the major issues. We've also done some educational outreach with the school. Not only did we do our opening session, where we had the school participate, singing the national anthem, interactive conversation with some of the astronauts about what they want to be when they grow up. We've also executed some in-classroom training. Our flight coordinator or flight plan director, Dr. Meredith Beckford Smart, is a trained science educator, and she has visited several classrooms, read from a children's book, of which she's the author. And we have also had her talk with the teachers and talk with the students and do some exercise, because we do believe that at some point in the future, we should bring analog astronaut research into the realm of the community, and we want to work with the school to begin to prepare them to undertake citizen science. So I think I have covered the science. I think I have covered the health and well-being. I believe I've covered the water challenges. Right now, we just had a big gust of wind, and one of our roof panels have been damaged. Also, MCC roof panel. Our hexaggerates are made from plywood, and they are really securely nailed in, but the wind here is quite high. And so I think, again, we note that here in Gabriel County, the roofs of the huts are oval, right? They're like a cylindrical oval shape. And so we have to figure out a way that we might be able to build a hexagon with a cylindrical oval shape. And that will be, again, a plan for future design experiment, because we do want to make our facility as portable as possible. Marshallville County is a very big county. It's very underpopulated. And we believe that Marshallville County can certainly serve as a destination for people wanting to do analog space research, for people who want to actually practice living as if they were going to be among the first people to move to the moon. And we want to offer the opportunity to people who want to work with us to execute that, to come and be a part of the Mwezi 1 habitat mission. And so without further ado, I'd like to say to any listeners that might be watching this in the near future and the far future, that we at Mwezi 1 are proud again to be the first lunar analog habitat coming out of sub-Saharan Africa. We're also proud to be the only African habitat participating in the simulation for the world's biggest analog. And we're also proud to say that with the partnerships we've established with the Machakos University, whose scouts are our crew, whose students are a systems engineer. The partnerships we have established with the Kenya Girl Guides Association, who supported with the logistics and also establishing a space badge program here in Kenya to again to bring young people in very fast into the program. The partnerships that we've established with Juhudi Mashinani, which is a community-based organization whose land we're on. And then more recently, the doors were opening up to Kabete National Polytechnic and Marie University. We believe that in the long run, we'll be able to demonstrate our hypothesis that analog space research can serve to provide a transdisciplinary space and ecosystem for successful applied research in the African context at a price and approach that will be very functionally sustainable, again, by universities here in Africa. So thank you all for listening, for being part of this briefing. And until next time, we say in Swahili, kwaheri ya kuonana, which is goodbye until we meet again. Thank you for being our supporter and our friend. Greetings. And again, see you at 7 p.m. if you'd like to join us for our Common Room Hour, Mwezi 1 Common Room Hour. Thank you so much for participating.